Oh, we're live. All right. This is great. Good morning. Good morning, Coach T.O.
Good morning, my good brother. So good to hear your voice this morning.
Hey, man.
And it is 07. It
It
is
is.
07 on the money.
Listen, that it is. And we still have the patch. I don't know if you can see it, but it's still, there you go. Oh,
Oh
wow.
yeah, I got us, bro. I just want them to see it. I want them to see it out there. You know what I'm
Isn't that
saying?
awesome?
Roll call live Monday and Friday at 07:07, man. Here we are. Uh, think about it too, brother. It's like you and I both, man. We're very busy people and we do a lot of good stuff, man. It just in the in the aspects of just trying to help. That's been heavy on my heart all week. It's helping me. That simple word, help. How do we help? How do we help? And I know this weekend you helped many people from the goodness of your own home. So I definitely want to dive into that, man. If you don't mind today, but good morning, everyone. Good morning, Emilio. It's 07 Monday morning, the 17th of November, 2025. It's holiday season. It's already here, brother. It's already here.
Amen. Amen. And Coach T.O., big hugs to you, man. You know how we do. How how we travel in the circles that we're traveling, and we're very tight with the circles and the people that we give our time and energy and resources. And I know
Yeah.
you were with family this weekend, and how important
Yes.
that is to you. This is why we bring together the roll call, right? It's that time where we're like, okay, guys, let's check in, right? Where are you from? What's going on? What's on your heart? Just
Right.
like when we did this in the military, the
That's
roll
it.
call from a sergeant major's perspective. I would like you to share that with them, and now I'll share with you what's going on here. But I really love for people who are watching this for the first time. And by the way, I just did a Facebook Live before you and I came on, telling people like you're watching. People are watching, but they're not chiming in. Come on, get off the fence. Our veterans need you. Families of our veterans need you.
That's right. Oh, you're spot on, brother. And I could honestly say that I'm being straight up, man. I couldn't stand dang on formation some morning. I hated formation some morning, man. Some mornings, I'm sorry. And I never wanted to see anyone not be there, if that makes sense. Because I think early on in my career, I I experienced, gentlemen not showing up and by 13, 1400, 1, 2 o'clock for those civilians out there, we would hear that that Marine had died or crashed on a motorcycle on the 5 freeway, uh, or was just straight up UA. Nobody knew where they were. And it would derail the day, sometimes derail the entire week, Emilio, because it's like that brotherhood is so strong, that sisterhood is so strong. That all it takes is one person to not be at that formation at 07.
Mm.
And for my first 4 years in the Marine Corps, formation every single morning at 07, meaning at 0620-ish, we were marching up to be prepared for the 07 formation. So, and I saw throughout my career, obviously going to different units, that wasn't the case in some of the other units I served in. But all in all, roll call is very important. We
Mm.
we we didn't name this roll call just for no reason, and we're not the first to do it.
Right.
I got a friend that came on with us last week, retired one officer. I believe he's a one officer three, James Jones. I remember he does poetry, and he put out a video on YouTube called Roll Call, and it was specifically for drill instructors. And I just remember hearing my name and that, and what that meant for me. That roll call, he named my name. no different than standing up there with the roster, reading off the roster, from A to Z. So it's just very special. But yeah, roll call. It's for us to come together, like you said, before we even did our first episode. It's about resource. It's about how can we help. Going back to that simple word. So I
Man,
love it, man. I'll say this, man, straight up and down. We went to a birthday party last night that was karaoke. Good friend of ours. Uh, my wife has known her for a long time. A really nice place, down in the Beltline in the city. And man, it was so much, booze on that table, rightfully so. I mean, it's a birthday party, grown folk, so. And my wife looked at me and she said, "Are you gonna have any drinks?" And man, I thought about 07 roll call, bro. I was like, yo, I thought about 07 roll call. And I looked at my wife and we had just got up in there. Everybody's, they got the drinks on the table, hookah. It's live, it's full throttle up in there. And I looked at my wife, I said, babe, 07 comes very quick. And I want to be ready for tomorrow morning. So I'm good. I mean, if you have a drink or two, I'll drive us home or whatever. But uh, yeah, man, and getting up this morning, obviously going through the norm, saying the
yeah,
prayers and having that little quiet time, man. It's real, and it takes time to develop that, man. Some of my young brothers, just like myself, just like you, just like so many of us. Hey, when you're 18, 19 years old in California, Hawaii, all these amazing places that some of us have never had, an opportunity to be. Man, 7 days a week we was out partying. So, hey, I
yeah.
digress, man.
Oh,
But that's what roll call is all about, brother.
man, I love it, man. Thank you for sharing that again. And that's what I'm talking about, right? That we can have a real genuine and a candid conversation. And I want to segue into a couple of things because what you talked about, what we did this weekend, and man,
Mhm.
yeah, you brought me back, brother. Uh, yeah, you brought me back about when formation, when everything, the inspection, you have your squad leaders check you out. You got to have the sleeves just right. I mean,
Yeah,
and who's on point and who isn't, because
right,
they'll call you out. If you're in the military,
right.
you get called out. You got to go shine your shoes. You got to go whatever the boots. You know what I mean? You got to do what you got to do, and you got to have that haircut, man. You can't come
Yeah.
in formation all shaggy.
Yeah, you can't be nasty, dog. You just can't be nasty. I'm just smiling right now because I'm looking in the chat. Shout out to my man Roy White. Roy White's definitely a veteran. Hey, you need to holler at me, Roy. Get at me. Get at Steve Miller.
Steve Miller,
Man,
all right.
we all grew up together, man. Roy's up in DC for the longest. Um, and I tell you, man, he understands. He gets it. Got Johnny Ragland in the chat.
Donnie,
Uh,
hello.
yeah, JJ Ragland, Daniela. Oh yeah, man.
Wife, oh, okay, okay, wifey, she's up. I'm downstairs in her kitchen. That's why she's not in the kitchen.
That's
I
right.
took
That's
over her
right.
space.
That's right. Well,
But
listen,
Coach Steele,
man. Well, it looks like we got some good talent, on deck, ready to come out on the basketball court. So
all right,
I'd love to bring these cats up in here.
all
Yeah,
right.
no
So give me
doubt,
2 minutes.
Roy.
Can we do this? Give me two
Yeah.
minutes so we can bring up, and then that's great. We're gonna bring them up. I appreciate you.
Okay. Okay.
So this weekend, what we had, because I want to finish your question, because you know me,
Right.
I digress. So we had the Born to Risk Mastermind at the house, and so it was wonderful. Like you said, people poured into us, we poured into them. So thank you
Yeah.
for all those who came and attended. We had some veterans with us as well. We're forever transformed when we're around our brothers and sisters who serve, and that conversation segues beautifully to what you said about not drinking. Where please somebody in the chat write this down. Sobriety success stories. Sobriety success stories. We're looking to partner up. We're sharing up some stories. So if you have a year of sobriety minimum and beyond, we're putting something together, something very special. Again, you
Yeah.
have to have a year of sobriety to do that. So that's important, especially with our veteran community. We got a veteran who's 34 years of sobriety. He was with us. I have his book. Can't wait to to dive in with him, and he and I are going to put a book together. But I thought about our veterans first. All right.
Right.
So that's on that note. Also, my good brother, you know that Thanksgiving is upon us,
That's
and
right.
my math is not very good looking, as they say. How many days till? Because somebody put in the chat, how many days till Thanksgiving? If anybody will put that in the chat, and if you know Coach Theo, because where we're going with this every year for like 10 years now, this is the 10th year we take Thanksgiving dinner for veterans in homeless shelters and in the town, and we're at that season now where anybody who buys a book from us, we get to pay for their meals. On average, our meals are about $25, and we do a good 20 to 25 meals. So we're in need of your support. So anybody watching this who would love to have us ship them a book and wants to support the cause, it's for our own brothers and sisters. And we don't have a nonprofit. Coach Teal, this comes out of our own pocket and the generosity of others. So I just want to say that before we dive into bringing on some good folks. Thank you, brother.
That's it, man. Man, thank you for that, man. On behalf of all the veterans out there, man, regardless of branch of service, bro, like you're truly making a difference, man. And I'll say it, man, it's on the hearts of many. Many have it on the heart to want to, man, what could I do? How can I give back? You know, and I would say you've already crossed that threshold, you know, in terms of we're doing it. We're making it happen. We're actually executing that ultimate sacrifice, because that's really what it is. But I've heard the saying, hey, when you're doing something that you love, it doesn't feel like work. And I know you love this, Emilio. I know Daniela loves this. That's what you all do. The community at large, veterans, outside of the veteran community, everybody knows you and your wife, that's what you all do. It's ingrained, it's in stone. So as y'all heard it out there, man, help out, you know, www.borntorisk.com. You can go there and listen. When you get there, the email that you could provide is so we can stay in contact with you. We can shoot you some things, you know, and some people, they think, oh, wow, as soon as they see, oh, put my information in, that it's a big red flag. No, put your information in there, because you're looking on the screen and who's going to physically reach out and touch you and contact you. So do that. It'll open up, you know, the floodgate for so much, you know, opportunity for you. So thank you for that, bro. Definitely thank you for that. Well, all right, man. We got two individuals, like I said, that we're gonna bring to the court, and we appreciate these gentlemen being here. Good morning, good morning. Sergeant Steve Moore, United States Air Force. How you doing this morning, good brother?
Blessed as always. Thankful for another day of sobriety. So working on, you know, just continuing working on myself, and thanks to Emilio and his wife Daniela, I had a wonderful experience this last weekend at his house at the Born to Risk summit, I guess, or I
Gathering, get together, family space.
I mean, it was it was incredible, and it was filled with fun, fellowship, and emotion. You know, we had a gathering of people that got real. You know, and that I think that's what made it a very pleasurable experience. So I know I learned a lot, and you know, I'm grateful that I have a new friend, Emilio, and his wife Daniela, and I just want you all to know, Emilio and Daniela, that I did have to call Lyft to get me a wheelbarrow to get me back in my house because of all that great food. So just
that's
to let you
Daniela's
know.
delight.
Good.
Thank you, brother.
That's outstanding. Well, we'll definitely come back to that, because you know, it's very important, man, and we definitely want to hear this morning what you got. We're also going to bring in a gentleman that goes by the name of Monty. Hey, what up, Monty? Hey.
Report.
I don't know if I'm in the show or not, but it's great to be a part of the team. I got my 4 a.m. workout in over here in Texas, presenting my body before the Lord, and it's game time. My brother Tim, man, I appreciate you for sending a message out to me. Got my son getting him ready for school, so I may be on here for a little bit. And brother Emilio, I'm getting ready to read your book. I have it. I have it. I'm getting ready to read your book, and it's going to be done this week, probably in the next couple of days. So I just appreciate everything that y'all are doing because my time in the Marine Corps, 26 years active duty, and my movement right now in Kingdom, just making sure that I come on here and make a difference, not just make a difference, but be a part of something or someone, a team that's making a difference around the world. So I'm gonna turn it back over to whoever wants.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you,
good,
man.
man. That's great, bro. And where are you calling in from, Monty? If you don't mind.
Yes, sir. Aubrey, Texas. If you know where Frisco is, go Cowboys. we're northeast of Frisco.
Okay,
Northeast of
okay,
Frisco, South 35 going up to Oklahoma that way. So we're in the northern part above Dallas and Frisco, northeast.
okay. All right. And if you could, man, your volume, if you could try to bump the volume up a little bit, man, 'cause we can hear you, but it's kind of faded back a little bit. But thank you for being here, good brother.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
Uh,
Love the image.
I may have to go loud because I've been having an issue with my phone. Maybe it's time to get a new phone. My wife may come in here and tell me you're too loud, but hopefully you can hear me a little bit
yes,
better. Okay, so
yes.
and it's great for me to say what I'm saying right now because my son is paying attention, paying close
Okay,
attention to what I'm saying. So I'm going to speak in this tone for a little bit. I may have to hop off, but I just want to tell each and every one of you, God bless you, Yah bless you. Keep doing extraordinary things.
thank you,
And
brother.
Coach T.O., I want to chime in real quickly, Monty. I love what you're doing, man. Love the way you're showing up. I'm so grateful that Coach T.O. and all of us have connected. I love your voice notes when they come in, the way you inspire people, not just the veterans, because I know you have people outside and you have people in your church or community. So keep doing what you're doing, brother. It is being felt. It's being felt. And I just want you to know that. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you. Mm.
Awesome. So talk to us, Sir Steve. Talk to us about this weekend. How was it? I think you're muted, sir. I think you're muted.
Sorry, I
What was
shut myself up because even I don't like to hear myself talk from time to time. It was fantastic. Emilio showed us a game plan, if you will, about how to write, be part of, and network a book. I learned a lot about marketing strategies, about about sponsorship. There are just things that I've just been a writer up to this point. That's basically been my contribution. I've been ever since my wife passed away last August. I've been like a creative machine for some reason. I guess that's the way I could get my thoughts and my feelings out there. But I've written 5 books now since her passing, 3 of which are published. I'm working
Good.
on the other 2, but Emilio told me you ain't charging enough, cuz, for your books.
It's the
so
truth.
anyway, but I want to develop a podcast about sobriety and dealing with other mental health issues. Being a veteran, obviously PTSD, grief and loss will be probably at the top of the totem pole in terms of topics that I want to address. I hope to be a guest, speaker or expert on somebody's podcast. In the future. That's about it.
Thank you, brother.
Good,
And
man.
Coach T.O., because I want Monty to come in and chime in as long as he can. I got to say this about Sergeant Steve. He didn't share this because, we're on the time zone that we have here, the time allotted. When he showed up, he was the first one to show up. And hopefully he's okay with me sharing this because this is about resources and about he has, I wouldn't call it a disability, but he's got a medical situation where he shows up to my doorstep like limping, man. I mean, he's got these two things, and I'll let him talk about it briefly because we want to share everybody. And he's in constant pain, my brother. I mean, this isn't like, I'll let him explain that, but to see how you and I just walk about, and this brother, every step he takes, he's got bone on bone, no cartilage, my man. And just to see him showing up, writing, in taking notes, and he drove a couple of hours to get here, he inspired me. Like he inspired me. Yeah. So I just want you to put this in context. That pain that you go through and the desire to get ahead. Some people just live in that pain, and you're different, man. You built different.
Yeah, I've always been a resilient man. And, the Marine Corps, interestingly enough, has a phrase that I've adopted, even though I'm an Air Force veteran: adapt and overcome.
Man.
And that's essentially what I have chosen to do. Because, I mean, I could choose to, spend the rest of my dying days, or living days, excuse me, in the easy chair with the remote going, what football game's on, or, but I choose not to do that. I mean, God knows I do spend enough time, watching my college sports and pro sports, but, I like to get out there and keep as exercised as I can. I have a genetic form of degenerative osteoarthritis, which basically means that over time, the cartilage in key areas of my body, my knees, my lower back, my neck and shoulders, have basically disintegrated to the point where it's resulted in bone rubbing against bone, and it's excruciatingly painful. I take non-narcotic medication around the clock. Like I said, my doctor of osteopathic medicine has me on a pretty good regime that I like. But you adapt, you improvise, and you overcome. That's been my motto ever since my brother-in-law, who was a Marine, who is a Marine, he's deceased now. He died of natural causes. Told me that he enlisted in the Marines in 1966 and fought in the Vietnam War, and he taught me that phrase because he's like, it's important that you keep focused on adapt and overcome and improvise, adapt, improvise, and overcome, because you're always going to face situations in your life, son, where, you're not going to have the answers, or you're not going to have the resources. You're going to have to make the answers and make the resources for yourself. And that's what I've chosen to do. So I was very grateful that Daniela and Emilio had me. So thanks again, guys.
Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
That's awesome, man. That's so amazing. And Monty, I know you're a fitness guru, extraordinary coach. Elaborate on what you just heard from Brother Steve. What's your thoughts on that, Monty?
My thoughts on that is keep pushing no matter what. Being a prime, a great example, and just hearing it from Emilio and hearing it from Brother Steve, that he's pushing through no matter what. People may see him on the outside, but they have no idea what's going on the inside. And that's inspirational. It's inspirational knowing that stories like this, some people may sit back and like, well, I'm just going to call it a day. But hearing Steve's story, like, man, I need to come up and do 2 or 3 more reps. There's no excuse to
That's right.
push, because Steve is pushing. He's out there pushing. Why am I sitting on the couch with the clicker watching whatever? And I do watch college football as well, but Steve, I was listening. So so what I get out of this is persevere no matter what, because there's somebody out there that could be in a similar situation as Steve that's ready to give up right now. And because they hearing Steve's story, like, wait a minute, he can do it, I can do it too. So that, my brother Tim, that's what I got out of Steve's testimony. So thank you so much for your push, brother Steve.
Man, that's good, bro. That's real good, man. It makes me think about good buddy of mine, Coach Murray Garvin, high school basketball coach in Lexington, Kentucky. Shout out to Murray. Um, he puts on summits every year called "If I Can, You Can," and that simple phrase, it's a game changer. If I can, you can. And everybody that he brings in, you know, just like this morning, you're talking about real life issues from addiction, it's uh, PTSD, just all the different things that you could think about. And I believe that that connection, when people can sit back and listen to what you just said, Steve, and know that I'm not alone. I'm not the only person going through things, but as good brother Monty said, I could do it too. I gotta go another mile. I gotta one more pull up, one more push up, get up, make something happen, keep the body moving. So that's amazing, brother. And I understand that bone on bone. It's my wife, she deals with the same thing with her hip. And there's times, man, I've laid in the bed with my wife and we're both in tears because I know she's in pain. And I get angry. I start getting mad at the Marine Corps. And I started thinking about, man, wow, she's out here hiking and jumping and all that. And it's like, man, is that something that if I could go back and turn the hands of time, would I do it? I wouldn't. Because again, she understood the sacrifice when she did it. So now it's like you said, it's just about doing the right things and being proper about it today, i.e., getting the X-rays done. Because she always says it. Because I'm always trying to offer something, Steve. Oh, babe, put some biofreeze on it. Hey, babe, do something. She's like, you don't understand. It is bone on bone. That's different. It's not my muscle tissue. It's not none of that. It is bone on bone. So when the weather changes and gets a little bit cold, I can see the difference in how she moves. So
Oh
big
yeah,
love to you, Steve. Big love to you on that.
yeah. That cold weather gets you every time.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the only thing I wish Emilio and his wife had offered was a little bit warmer weather. About 10 degrees warmer would have been nice.
Wow.
Coach T.O., thank you for sharing that about Kizzy, right? And I want to make sure I
Yeah.
pronounce your name.
Right.
Right. And so I would love for you guys to share, if everyone could go around, because in the time that we have with Monty, because we're grateful you're here, brother. Given what you said about your wife and things that happen in the military, and a lot of times when we're going through it, we don't know. And the culture in the military, suck it up, man, suck it up. So anybody who's watching, whenever I meet a parent, and whenever I'm getting goosebumps, because when I meet a parent and they're telling me that their son or daughter going in, I'm like, yeah, I love that. That's important. I said, please do me a favor. I said, remember this phrase: documentation beats conversation. I said, I want you to understand they should document everything, because the culture is going to say to you, don't go to sick call, don't go. So I would love for you gentlemen to chime in, knowing what you know now, starting with T.O. and Monty and then end with Steve. What advice would you give?
Man, that's a great question. I'll keep it brief. The S on the chest, trust me, you got to understand that you're also Clark Kent too. I'll say that again. Yeah, the S on the chest. We all have it. From Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, and now Space Force. We all have it. But also understand that you're Clark Kent too. Remember Clark Kent walking down the street with the little beige jacket on, freezing cold, and cars splashing up snow and ice on it. That's also us too. And to be honest with you, just last week, Veterans Day, ran into a gunnery sergeant. We're talking in the gas station, and he asked me out of the blue, "Hey man, do you know anybody I could talk to about the medical piece?" He said, "I was hard-headed. I never went to medical. We don't go to medical, Sergeant Major.
Right.
Ain't no way we go to no medical." And I was like, "Hey man, listen, how old are you, sir?" He's like, "Man, I'm 59. And I said, 59 years old, how does your body feel right now? He's like, "Oh man, like I can't even put it in words. Sometimes I feel like I can't even get out the bed. I said, well, that mentality, is the wrong mentality for many of us. And I said, but it's never too late. So personally, I feel like I said, laying there with my wife, I get angry because I remember those hikes. I remember her and I, high-fiving when I was going to work and she was coming home and vice versa, hours and all that, or her getting prepared for a hike and packing all her stuff up the night prior. And it's like, man, wow, but I could say to those out there watching, man, uh, you only get one body, man, and go, go to medical, bro. What? Say it one more time, Emilio. You said documentation
Pete's conversation.
beats conversation. That's the bar right there. If you don't take nothing away from that, that's the bar. I'll pass it to you, Money.
Thanks for sharing.
I appreciate you, brother CEO, man. And I echo, man, Emilio, that's a gem, man. You might want to put that in your new book. It might be in the book right now.
Go for it.
Man, I say many of us, I'm looking, I don't know the ages, we're brought up in the suck it up generation, shut up and color generation. We don't want to go to medical because that person may say something about us. That person may think that we're weak. I can tell you from experience growing up in that generation, I have bangs and bruises, all kind of things that happened to me that I didn't document on the front end. I spent 26 years, probably for maybe 17 years. I didn't even document anything because what if that person says something or that person says something about me? So, and I thank you for T.O. for telling us about the 59-year-old and the process in medical. We take our time. We put our information in, and we got to take a look at the people who's doing our documentation because the person who did mine rushed through. Come to find out later on down the road, I had somebody else to do it. They missed 21 different things. 21 different things. And there's a difference between 60% and 100%. But that person didn't take their time, didn't do their due diligence. So I would just say that it's important to document because we all, like T.O. said, we only have one life. We put ourselves through the rigor and the rank. I mean, I put us a lot of, and man, I'm praying for your wife, man. I'm praying for your wife. We put ourselves through so much. When the doors are closed, the doors are closed.
Yeah.
And those same people, we may not even ever hear from them again. So we put ourselves in a situation through Afghanistan, Iraq, all of that in harm's way, document because it could be in the midst of this thing with the government shutdown and seeing all these military service members in the food banks, it makes a difference.
Right.
At the 59-year-old, I don't know what his percentage is right now. He could be on, maybe I need another $50. Maybe I need another $100. And because I'm going to wait because somebody may talk about me, I never submitted. I have my dad. My dad, he's a veteran that's still waiting to submit his claim. Vietnam veteran, still waiting to submit his claim, and I have to get involved. So I commend Emilio, Brother Steve, Brother T.O. for coming on here and having this platform because we need to let people know, write it down, document it, because that could make a difference between life and death on the financial aspect of things. And it's not where it's something that, okay, well, they give it to me. No, we earned it. Just like we earned the title Marine, or we earn when we go through our recruit training, the OCS, we earned that because we want to make sure that we share that with the other ones. And I'm gonna give you this last one before I get off the mic, and I want to listen to Brother Steve. One of you I think it was T.O. Emilio was talking about, I think Emilio, about the new generation of Marine. I signed up someone 25 years ago. She wanted me to coach and mentor her daughter who just graduated high school. She just graduated boot camp in MCT right now. So now I have to pass this on to her, letting her know on the onset, little sis, Nisi, document everything. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about what they say because you will understand later on, is going to tell you that this is going to benefit you in the long run. And I'm going to turn it back over to all of you and to Brother Steve. What we're doing right now is pivotal for the next generation of military service men and women. So I'm
Thank you
done.
for sharing.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
That's good.
Thank you for sharing that.
That's good.
I love it.
I wish I had that advice when I enlisted in 1985. I'm 66 years old. The one and only time that I applied for VA medical benefits, I was told that because I did not serve during wartime, I was not eligible for VA medical benefits. And I thought, okay. And I just I've let it sit all these years, and that's probably the biggest mistake I've made. I should have been more proactive in that area and gotten with somebody that's worked the system that could get me VA medical benefits. Because right now where I'm sitting, I'm in between jobs, so I don't have insurance. I've got Medicare parts A, B, D, and N, which has served me well. I'm still left with co-payments and stuff, but I wish I had listened, or had been given that advice to document, because I had a KC-135 refueling aircraft flap literally drop on my lower back when I was on the flight, working the flight line at Offutt Air Force Base. They were getting ready to take off for one of their Looking Glass missions. And, I had to go, to the hospital because, it literally sent me real into the ground. Like I was like, I wasn't paralyzed, but I my legs were tingling and I just couldn't, it was a bad situation. And, I got a copy of my medical records and wasn't anything mentioned in there. And I know I told that physician exactly what happened and the feelings that I was having in my legs and stuff. And just that little piece of information being in the medical record could have made all the difference in the world to me. So, if I can be an example for somebody, like, look, this is why you need to document, I'll be your poster child.
Yeah, man.
Steve, can I jump in real quick? Wow. Give it up,
Yeah.
for Steve. Give it up for Monty and Coach T.O. Guys, if you're watching this, please, sharing is caring. Someone will benefit from this information, from Steve's pain, from what Monty has shared about, again, someone that he had the opportunity to work with. And now 20 plus years later, their daughter, right? The mentoring, and Coach T.O. with his wife, what she's going through. Here's my top 3 things that's coming to me. If you're a veteran out there, you have a son or a daughter, and I get called up often because people know this is what I'm in the space of doing. And by the way, I don't get paid for this, and I'll never accept $1 from this. There's people who get paid for this, and rightfully so. They put their time and energy. But I do this because this is, to whom much has been given, much is expected, right? And people poured into me, so I just want to pour into you. So never file your claim online. The VA makes it easy. You can go online and, it's kind of really impersonal. My suggestion is never file online. There are places like the DAV, and somebody, if they would write this down to share this out, the Disabled American Veteran, they're a nonprofit and they help you. And this is why you want to go in person, set the appointment. Every town's got it. In fact, every hospital, every VA hospital typically has a DAV representative. They typically are on Wednesdays. Find out wherever it is with your state. And why is this important? Because they sit there with their computer. And by the way, I'm going to take a step back. Know your symptomology. Meaning, if you are talking about PTSD, know words like hypervigilance, right? Know things, because the person, the evaluator on the other side, when they don't know you or me, they don't know Steve Moore, they don't know Monty Hall, Coach T.O. from a hole in the wall. So they have to make a decision based off of what they see and how you're communicating.
Right.
Never go into the VA hospital with, they're all saying, how you doing today, Sergeant Steve or Mr. Moore, right? Because they keep it all professional. And you're like, oh, I'm feeling good. My canned thing to you, I know we're Christians and we don't, and I'm not saying don't lie. I'm not saying that for the record, but I say my canned answer is some days are better than others. And today is just one of those days. And they put that down because you're not feeling well all the time.
Right.
Right. I made the mistake, and I'm going somewhere with this, I promise. I went in and I was applying for my back. And I was talking about my back injury, and I was just being honest. I felt better that day. I didn't bring, guess what? I didn't bring the belt the VA gave me. Totally denied me for my back. Totally 100% based off of I was feeling good that one day. So I got to learn. So basically, again, I want to make sure that we understand, go to a representative. And the other key is, Coach T.O. and Monty, is this. When you're there and you're explaining to them the situations and reasons why you're applying for benefits. Hello, little one. I see the little one there just showed up. God bless you. Good to see you. So they're there. What happens is they know things, and the way they word it is important. So I've been there, and they've helped me to go, Mr. Roman, you also qualify for this. So that's where the documentation beats conversation. So very important. Do that. Something else that I want to add real quickly, so you can chime in on this, guys, is a buddy letter. Understand, send a buddy letter. Meaning, okay, you got to go, my good brother. Thank you.
All right, brother. Love you, man.
Big hugs to you. So, Coach T.O., this is important, right? And Steve, when you're sharing with veterans, a buddy letter is, for example, if your wife was applying, and I know she probably already has the good rating, but if she wasn't, the buddy letter is from her husband, who sees her and says, I see my wife in pain. She's crying every other night. A buddy letter that weighs in to the evaluation. Most veterans don't do that. I'm gonna let you chime in on that now, because I think that's important.
Absolutely, bro. And that's the conversation I had with the gentleman. He's a retired gunnery sergeant, by the way. And it was Veterans Day. I was walking out of the gas station. He was backed in. So as soon as I walked out, he was backed in, and I saw a license plate with the Eagle Globe and Anchor. And I'm gonna be honest with you all. Normally, man, I'm gonna keep moving because hey, I'm a busy dude, man. I got places I gotta get and things I gotta do, and I'm a talker, so I know how those conversations can end up. and I said, nah, man, somebody in here is a Marine. So I go back in, and well-groomed brother too. He's hanging out, sitting in there because they got a little restaurant right next door in the gas station, and you can just kind of go back and forth between the two. And we just got to talking. First thing he said, man, you too young to be a sergeant major, man. It ain't no way, man. You look like you're 20 years old. You ain't no sergeant major. So I had to pull my ID out and show it to him, and he's like, wow. And that conversation immediately went to the medical piece, what we're talking about right now.
Yes.
And as the conversation brewed, I said, hey man, you got to get some buddy letters, bro. And I said, I'll write one for you. I said, and that's just being honest. I'll write a buddy letter for you. It'll hold a little bit of weight. I am an E9. It'll hold some weight. And he was like, oh, no, it will. And I believe he's at 30%, gentlemen. He's at 30%. And he was just straight up. He's like, man, I just medical, it just wasn't in the cards. And he was like, but now, I'm looking back and I'm like, wow, bro, I'm really hurting. He said, I never wanted to be the guy that felt like I was just milking the system.
Right.
Or like I was just getting money, and nothing's really wrong with me. And I told him, I said, bro, as every day goes by, you're going to realize more and more things wrong with your body, wrong with your mind. There's so many different things. And he was like, but all these years removed, can I go back and say that the military is the reason why I'm feeling how I'm feeling right now? He's like, I don't think so, can I? I said, listen, man, you won't know if you don't try it all. If you just keep whining about it, Gunnery Sergeant, we're Marines, so we're going to shoot at each other. And I was like, hey, you can just sit around and keep whining all you want, Gunnery Sergeant. I said, it's not so much about leaving money on the table. It's about, man, like Monty Hay just said, you earned it, bro. You spent 20, 22, 23, 20, however many years, bro. You did things that the average person will never do.
Ever.
And that's just being honest. And I know for some of our brothers and sisters out there, uh, I've been told, I've sat next to individuals straight up, and they look me in my face like, hey, man, like, I'm just doing my job. Like, how can you want to be compensated for just doing your job? I'm like, man, you sound like a freaking idiot right now.
Yeah.
You sound like an idiot. And now those same individuals
Mhm.
who are removed, Emilio Ramon, they're removed from the military. And now they're sitting back like, man, God, I wish I would have just went to medical. I would, they call them the 2808 and 2807 forms. Those are those forms with the little box that, man, it's got everything on it, ears, your whole entire body. And my voice is rising, man, because I'm so passionate about it. And I want to, definitely say shout out to one of our brothers, part of the Born to Risk Project with us, Veterans Inaugural, and that's Eddie Arce.
Yeah.
Eddie Arce. That's what he does for a living. Eddie Arce, man, look him up. He's on Facebook, all the different.
We gotta have him on the
platforms.
show. We gotta have him on.
Absolutely, absolutely. We will
Bring him on.
definitely bring Eddie on. But that's what he does, man. Eddie, he will help you, and we talk about it, him and I. He's like, some of these cats just don't want to listen to you. They freaking hard-headed. Because it goes back to, like you said, Emilio, just it's key things that are really real. Like when you talk about a migraine, there's key words that need to be said.
The symptomology. You got to know the symptomology. Yeah.
Right. Pulsating. Pulsating is a perfect example. I have pulsating headaches, man. I have to lay down, turn the light out, put a wet rag over top of my head or whatever. So it's real, man. I mean, this episode can go on and on and on. Shout out to Garvin Floyd. Love you, brother. Thank you all. Garvin's in the chat, man. One of my favorite pastors in the world. That's a preaching boy right there, boy. That's a preaching, that's a preaching boy. But I was just at his church a weekend ago, speaking to veterans, and this same conversation was being had. Shout out to Pastor Rick Adams. It's veterans in there from Vietnam, man. Their records, Steve, got burned up. A lot of medical records got burned up, and you could hear it in Monty's voice when he started talking about his father. It's like, man, you were in Vietnam, and medically, the VA can help you. All jokes aside, we know this, gentleman, but I'll pass it to you, Steve, because I get going about that, man, and I'm just like, wow, it's real, yeah.
Important. And Steve, as you're coming on, Steve, I want to share anyone in the Vietnam era. Listen, understand these things. If the VA broke it, right? If the military broke it, they're responsible. And so that's even in next episode. I'm going to have the quote from Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln shares that, and that we're responsible as a nation to take care. If somebody would find that, given in today's age, hey, Garvin Floyd, blessings to you. Put it up there. So the VA model, the Veterans Administration, they use that. And by the way, there's money allocated specifically for the veterans. And if they're not used, those money and funding goes away. So it's our responsibility to let our veteran brothers and sisters know about these resources because they're there for that reason.
That's right.
Yeah, thank you.
That's right.
Steve.
As I was listening to everybody, it just dawned on me. I was hospitalized for 3 days during boot camp for cellulitis because of jungle rot. We all got, marching through the waters and the swamps and stuff. And that is in my medical record. Well, I have been suffering from and dealing with cellulitis related hospitalizations. I've had 6 now over the years. So I might be able to, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, maybe that's the angle I should pursue and not the flap dropping on my back and the, the degenerative arthritis, because I mean, I'm thinking if I'm dealing with something that's actually in my record that I know is there, I might be able to get somewhere. But yeah, I mean, there's, I I thank God that the VA is there, because
Yeah,
they do provide, contrary to popular opinion right now, they do provide excellent quality care. You just got to be patient, because I understand that there's a little bit of waiting. Like, sometimes you can wait up to an hour or two maybe to see your provider. Sometimes they'll change your appointment day and time on you at the last minute. So you got to be patient, but it's a good system.
Yeah,
So
you can get paid.
yeah,
Thank you for sharing that. And Coach T, I want you to chime in on this. And thank you, B, for chiming in. I love it. He talked about the spouses providing, again, those buddy letters. And
yes,
this is so important. You mentioned this. It's in the SRB. I don't know if I'm using the right term, but it's in the medical, right? It's in there. So make sure that this is why we talked about earlier about young men and women going in. Equip them with, hey, write things down, write it down, because once it's in there, that's that documentation. Because that person on the other end, they don't know you and me from a can of paint, as they say. So go back to there. And what I want you to do is, if you know anybody who served with you and they can provide that letter, right? They can co-sign on, I was there, I witnessed it. And by the way, here's something that I'm going to share personally. Like, I had, my history of drinking and substance abuse, right? And I had a situation even with my family, like my daughter, because I was an absentee father. I never wanted to put that out there when I was filing my claim. That actually helped me. It actually helped my claim, that it showed that my drinking and the behavior, the addict behavior, was caused by XYZ because of my PTSD. So I'm going to encourage you out here watching this. Put that up there. Be honest. Be forthcoming, because those things that you think aren't going to matter, they matter. I showed and I proved that I had not one, but I had multiple court cases related to my behavior. And I had most of you don't know this, but MST stands for military sexual trauma. I had military sexual trauma is on my record. I didn't know that. I didn't get molested in the military, but the military triggered my child abuse when I was a kid. You see that? I never knew that. So when I went to the DAV, the Disabled American Veterans, they gave me this information. They go, you can apply for MST. I'm like, what is that? That's the power of what we're sharing here. So while the military may not have caused it, they may have triggered something. You need to know that. Coach T.O.?
and yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, we're gonna start using it.
hey, that's good to go right there, bro. I love it, man. I love you, Emilio, because you're just real, man. You just talked about things that's it. That's it, bro. And when I say that's it, meaning a lot of people are suffering in silence, and they don't know where to go, they don't know who to talk to. Well, I'll tell you all out there right now, man, reach out to us, bro. We're retired, we're retired, and we care, and we truly want to help. And as you heard, what do we call them? C lawyers and everybody that thinks that they know everything that they don't know. As you heard Brother Emilio say, man, they gave him information that he would have never known had he not just took that step, took that initial, I'm here, hey, well, this triggered, you from this past traumatic situation. So again, it's lingo. It's certain things that they could help. The DAV, Wounded Warriors Regiment. Um, it's so many different entities out there. There's names being dropped in the chat from our brother talking about different individuals you can call, reach out to. So
That's awesome, man. That's
I
awesome.
love it, man. I love it. And A word keeps coming up, man. A word keeps coming up. Addiction. A lot of service members deal with addiction. Post service addiction. You know, the bottle, weed, uh, dope, whatever it is, fentanyl, scissor. You might be sipping on some scissor out there. I don't know, but the VA has programs for that as well, and it's free for you. So a lot of times when I see certain things, I'm like, man,
Mm.
I'm a former addict, 100%. Those out there that know me and you know my story, it was prior to the military, and but I could say today I know 100% that the VA does help. And I'm like Brother Steve, I was told, especially here in Atlanta, I was told that Atlanta VA was the worst VA in the United States, ladies and gentlemen. And I was like, man, wow, I should have did this while I was in California, blah, blah, because they say California has the greatest VA networking system. But I want to dispel that myth today. Man, the VA around here in Georgia, from Atlanta to the outskirts, man, it has been amazing, bro. Absolutely amazing. And like you said, sometimes it's just about showing up at the doorstep, man. You can get on that phone and you get past, from person to person, but man, just show up. Walk it in, because here's the thing that a lot of people don't understand. Most of the veterans that are walking into these establishments of the VA, you're going to deal with another veteran. You're going to deal with another veteran. I can say that in my experience. I go down there, as soon as I walk in the door, oh, here we go. Here come another jarhead. Get him out of here. Get that jarhead out of here right now. And I'm like,
I love
I'm just coming to get some treatment, sir. What are you talking about? And then it's always that good camaraderie. And if you ask, it's like the old saying, knock, and the door shall be open. If you ask somebody there, most of the time, other veterans that understand, they're going to point you in the right direction.
And thank you. You know what? I want Steve to have a word here, but just to your point, and I love the camaraderie and the banter. It was in Hawaii. And I'm going to share with you quickly because we're on the subject here, and I rarely ever share this. I was in Hawaii going for again, one of my appointments, right? The VA. And an African-American brother has an oxygen tank on. And as it would happen, I got goosebumps. We're talking about benefits. You're like, hey, man, do you got any ratings? And, we just get that conversation going. He looked at me, this brother with the oxygen tank, older man, and this was many years ago. He goes, you want to get 100%? And I'm looking at him, I'm like, oh, because I think I had like 30 or 40. I'm like, yeah, like I would, love to increase so I didn't have to work so hard and I don't have to keep coming in here with all the pills and, you know what I mean? Just, yeah. I'm like, yeah. He goes, write a letter to the president. Man, the first thing that went through my mind was, this brother, he's really out there. He's got too much meds. Let me tell you, someone needs to write this down. Send a letter to the president, regardless of who's in office. Let me tell you what happens. I did it.
God help us.
But I did it. I sent the letter to the president. And about 90 days or so, I get a letter saying, thank you for your service. And the letter should go something like this. Regardless of who's the president, hello, my name is Emilio Roman. I served in the United States Marine Corps. I said, I just want to thank you, right, for, your service to our country. But my situation is this. I'm at 30%, 40%. And, I just wanted to share that with you. Whatever. It doesn't got to be elaborate. ChatGPT can do it for you, right? Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, I get this letter, and it says, thank you for your service. We're going to forward this to the DOD. Something happens. All of a sudden, why am I saying this? All of a sudden, my file just got moved up. Every other veteran that I shared this with comes back to me and says, I don't know what happened, but something happened. Things got moved up. And it goes back to that day where I was this African-American gentleman. I laughed at him. I wasn't disrespectful, but I've shared that message ever since. and I'm sharing it with everyone here. Send a letter to the president.
It's powerful, bro. It works, man. Shout out to Alshie Williams, Wounded Warrior. He told me the same thing. I was waiting and waiting and waiting on a decision and waiting and waiting. I'm just like, man, I'm good. I'm getting my retirement check, so
Right.
I'm good. I could pay the bills or whatever. And he just called me out of the blue, Alshie Williams. He's like, hey, man, you're going to write a letter to the president. And same just like you, Emilio. I was like, man, get out of here, man. I ain't writing no president, man. It'll come. I heard the VA slow anyway, so all these different reasonings that I was giving him.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, bro, you're going to write it. I'm about to send you the template, blah, blah, blah. Sergeant Major, trust me. Trust me, Sergeant Major. Man, I fired that letter off. I got a call that afternoon. And it was a live call. And it was, hey, we have your inquiry or whatever they called it. And they was like, hey, you're going to get an answer very soon. And within 3 days, I had my rating. And that's the honest to God truth.
Wow. I've never heard that story.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. You see this. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Well, gentlemen, parting words, man. Parting words. What's your parting words, Steve? Send us out of here, brother.
Knowledge is power. You know, you can't do something that you don't know about. I mean, God knows, just sitting in on this call this morning, roll call this morning, I've learned a ton of things, you know, that I hadn't even thought about, to be quite honest with you. You know, writing a letter to the president. I mean, in jest, I did the sign of the cross, you know, and the prayer hands, you know, because we all know who's in office right now, and it's, that's a whole different discussion. But you know, you can't, you won't know the outcome until you produce the work to get an outcome. So
it's good, man.
Thank you.
It's good.
Thank you.
I'll tell you, man. I love you, gentlemen. I love you, gentlemen, wholeheartedly. Everybody that came through the chat this morning in the comment section, so much great information. I agree with you, Reverend Emilio. Sharing is caring. Share this, man. Just send it to one person. Because trust me, there's pretty much a veteran in every household in some form or fashion along that tree. Whether it's dad, granddad, somebody within that family, young pup that's ready to go ship, whatever it may be, share the information, man. You know, just share it. Just push it out there because, again, hey, this is roll call. That's what we're about. We're about coming, you know, 07 on Monday mornings, 07 on Friday. We start the week off strong and we close the week out freaking strong. Same thing. So I appreciate you, Reverend Emilio. Thanks to God, man, that you fellas got to get together this past weekend. So many great other people. I saw some of the photos up there in Gloucester City, man. I wish I could have been there. But there's many more to come. And for everybody that chimed in virtually, it's the Born to Risk family at large, man. You know, we're the veteran cell, but it's a large Born to Risk family out there, man, spread across the nation and abroad. So tap in, you all, tap in. And with that being said, this shirt, I put it on this morning specifically. Brother Kylo Ren, who is a United States Marine. Kylo Ren, my son got this shirt for me. I was sitting next to him in the office on Camp Pendleton, Camp Horno, California. And I didn't know that he was going to become the next Darth Vader, Kylo Ren, you know, and he's a Marine, man, very humble, always shows a lot of love to the veteran community as well as, you know, Marines specifically, and he served as a U.S. Marine. But shout out to him this morning, man. Shout out to Kylo Ren. I don't even know his real name. I know he's an actor. I just know him as Kylo, and I know him as Devil Dog because I sat next to him out on Pendleton, not realizing that one day he was going to become one of the biggest movie stars in the world. So again, shout out to him this morning, man. And with that being said, Reverend Emilio, man, close us out, brother.
Thank you, my brother. Everyone, if you can, please just, if you're driving, don't do this, but please, let's just bow our heads for a second. For those brothers and sisters that are not here today, for those brothers and sisters that didn't have the opportunity to get or listen to information and are still struggling. And as my friends share in the rooms of AA and NA, for those still sick and suffering, we pray for them. Lord, we thank you for everyone who showed up today. Lord, for everyone who poured into us. We need each other. We were built and created this way. So in Jesus' mighty name, thank you for this beautiful start of the week. And again, in Jesus' mighty name, amen.
Amen.
Man.
Thank you, my brother.
All right, fellas. Love you
Thank
all.
you.
Love y'all out there.
Love y'all
Have a
too.
great week. Stay motivated this week. Keep pushing. Expect the unexpected. It's coming. Hey, push past it. 07 roll call. We out of here. And we always emphatically say, peace.
Hurrah.
Peace out. All right.